Okay, good morning, kids. Oh boy, how is everybody doing right now? Oh, there we go. Let me adjust my sound a little bit. Um, I was fiddling with my settings here, so I need to make some adjustments. I think I sound okay now, right? Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Welcome to another episode of The Abyss AM morning edition, where we have news and caffeine. I have my coffee. I hope you have yours. I want to say hello to everybody on all the platforms that I'm streaming on. And of course, I am your host at The Eternal Abyss. Oh, boy. So we ran into some technical difficulties this morning because I was trying to experiment a little. But before we get into that, actually, let me just do my usual greeting. Hello, everybody on all the various platforms that I am on. I want to say hello to everybody on Periscope, on D Live, on YouTube, and on Twitch as well, and YouTube. And I want to say, of course, hello to everybody on Bitwave. As I was saying, I was having some technical difficulties this morning. I was trying to use a different broadcasting system here, a different software. I was trying to use Wirecast. That failed miserably. It did not work out. Let's just put it that way. Did not work out at all. Nope. No, 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 no. The software seemingly cannot handle multiple streams. At least it cannot handle it on the platform that I'm using right now. In the sense that it can't handle my computer. Really can't. I don't think it's the. I think it's. Whoa. I think it's more. I sound a little crackly. Let's remove that. I think it's the computer more than anything that just can't really handle what's going on. So, I hope you have your coffee. I have mine, as I mentioned. Is the audio crackly? Or is it just me? Because it could be just me. I've been having a lot of technical difficulties in these past couple days. Technology has not been my friend. I can tell you that for sure. Wow. Yeah, it's just been really sucky. Oh, I need to do a little social media posting here. Yeah, I'm hearing crackling. Gosh darn it. Let me try something here real quick. Let's see if I can find some elevator music. Well, it seems better this way when I'm just holding it by hand. It doesn't like my stand. Nope, I'm hearing the crackling here too. Great. Fantastic. Ah, that's just beautiful. All right. Well, as I said, technology hates me. What can I say? I don't know. This is just not behaving. But as I mentioned, I do need to do a little social media maintenance. I'm not streaming on Float today. I got to get that sorted out. I have too many destinations that I'm sending stuff to, and it's barely working as it is. So we're going to hold off on Float right now. I'm sorry for the folks that are on Float. I wish I could stream over to you guys. But as you guys can see, I'm already having a lot of difficulties with all my setup as it is right now. And I don't even know why it's causing me these kind of issues. Because I'm having connection issues. I'm having issues with the software that I am using. I'm having issues with just everything. Just everything. But I just got to post what I'm doing here right now that we're streaming on my social media because there's unfortunately not an automated way to go to every single one of my platforms. But we got plenty to talk about. Plenty to talk about today. At least there's a 2 or 3 major topics that I really want to address because I feel they deserve addressing. And they do deserve addressing. Not just that I feel they deserve addressing. There are major issues that are happening in the news, and they are deserving of some time of discussion. Obviously. What the heck? What's this? Oh, I must have accidentally clicked on my own thing. Okay. Whatever. So anyone who has been on my stream before and has listened to me talk has definitely known me to really call out hypocrisy. Yeah, see, actually, before I go into my news talk, yeah, Illustrator, I was using Wirecast. Um, Either my computer just does not like it at all. I mean, I do have kind of a crappy. I mean, it's supposed to be a gaming laptop. It's supposed to be a laptop that's supposed to have some beef on it. It's supposed to be something that it's supposed to be able to handle pretty hefty usage. You know what I mean? Um, I don't know why I'm hearing a crackling in my ear. That is really starting to irk me. It really is. Okay. Might be some static along the cable. I don't know. Because now, it sounds clear to me now. It sounds perfect. I have no issues. But then every once in a while, I get this weird, like, little crackle, snap, crackle, pop. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on with that. But essentially, I was using Wirecast. And it would not connect to Bitwave. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great stuff to it. I really liked it as a software. I thought it was really good in terms of its interface. It was pretty. I mean, I didn't need to really read up on anything on how to add anything at all, like in terms of the scenes and the media and all that. I did. I liked it overall. I thought it was a really good piece of software. I was hoping that it would be a good solution. Unfortunately, it wouldn't connect to Bitwave and the interface just was unstable. It kept locking up on me while the stream was active, and it was, as you saw, video wise, it was a little jittery. And part of that is probably my setup. Part of it probably has to do with the fact that I'm not on a wired connection. I know I'm streaming on wireless. A lot of people on Bitwave have uh, complained about that in the past. Um, and if there's any other software out there like Wirecast, yeah, thank you, Illustrator. No, I mean, I get that. Yeah, I gotta find a good solution that'll tick, every check mark that I need, ticked essentially. Like I have custom destinations that I need to be sending stuff to, like Float and Bitwave. I need to be able to send to other platforms. I need to be able to customize it. I need to be able to reproduce what I do visually on OBS. Unfortunately, how many check marks do you have? I have a few. I mean, to be able to stream to your website, Dispatch is one of them. Hey, Chillwave, and hello to Dispatch, of course. Uh, I need to be able to broadcast to every platform that I want to broadcast on. So Float now is one that I wanted to add, and I can't do that right now. Wirecast would not let me connect to you, Dispatch. Would not let me connect to Bitwave. I don't know what was going on with that. The other platforms were connecting, but visually the video was jittery. You may be right. I have found that software is very full featured, but it's not. I found that it's not very stable, and it may just be the version that I have. Well, I don't know why it ended up doing this because I was looking at the statistics and it was trying to send over to you like 9 megabits per second. I was like, what the heck is this thing doing? Because I didn't set the setting that high. At least I didn't think I set the setting that high. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just having performance issues with it because if I can figure out how to make it stream smoothly, I plan on using it if I can. I'm not gonna get rid of it just yet. I'm gonna experiment with it a little further. But if there are other alternatives to Wirecast, I'm definitely gonna keep my eye out for them and see what I can do to have a multi-streaming solution. Yeah, and I don't blame that. I don't blame you, Dispatch, for doing that with Bitwave. That it'll drop your ass if you use excessive data. Absolutely. You gotta contain your resources and maintain your resources properly. Absolutely. But let's move on. We'll talk about this sort of thing at another time. I'm gonna have to sort through stuff, and I'm gonna have to figure out. I'm gonna have to figure out what's the best solution for multi-streaming. I may just have to shell out the monthly to restream. Mm, coffee. But we'll see. We'll see what I can do. But in the meantime, if anyone that's been on my stream before, you guys have known that one of the things that really, really, really irks me and that really gets my gears going and brings my piss to a boil is the sheer hypocrisy on the left. Now, that's not to say that there's no hypocrisy on the right. I'm not out here to just say that one particular ideology and group is absolutely evil and wrong and all that kind of fun stuff versus the right is always righteous, always correct, always saintly. But I'm not going to play this both sides do it game though in this particular case because the left does have certain egregious examples. You know what? Let me hold on. Let me change my frequency on my microphone. I have a feeling that may resolve something here. All right. Hello? Okay. Excuse the sounds here. I'm trying to figure out why my microphone is misbehaving on me here. Like I said, technology hates me. All right. So, I think this is a little better. I changed the frequency on my mic. Maybe this clears it up. Maybe there's something interfering with it. I don't know. Maybe it's my phone, actually. Let me get my phone away from the receiver and see if that resolves anything. Okay. So, as I was saying, um, well, that's absolutely true, Illustrator. The fact that you can multi-stream out of the box, I love that. I think that's fantastic. I would love it if it would work perfectly. Okay, so maybe it's just my headphones that's being stupid. Okay. Just wanted to make sure because I heard a little like weird thing in my headphones, and I just want to make sure that it's not something that translates to the stream because last time people were complaining about some audio issues as well. Gotta take a sip of my coffee here. Oh yeah, that's good. Calms the shakes. Uh, hey, Mom Patch, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. So as I was saying, let's just talk about the news because this is what we're really here for. There are certain egregious examples of hypocrisy on the left that really, 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 really grinds my gears, as I mentioned. And yesterday, last night, and still today is still trending, is Nancy Pelosi. And the reason Nancy Pelosi is trending is because this woman has done nothing but lecture people about mask wearing, lecture people about COVID, lecture people about following the lockdown instructions and the rules and all that kind of stuff, vilifying people, encouraging further lockdowns, encouraging businesses shutting down, not giving a rat's ass basically about people's livelihoods. Oh, it gets worse. It's not just that, illustrators, not just masks for thee, but not for me. Oh, it gets better. It gets better. So for months and months and months, this woman has been nothing but an absolute, I want to use the C word, but I'm gonna reserve that for now. She's been absolutely an absolute horror show when it comes to treating people, treating the opposite side, especially like ideologically and politically, vilifying the right, vilifying Republicans, calling them enemies of the state, accusing the right of essentially killing people. Untk, yeah. Pig Latin. Um, yeah, if that word applies to anyone, it applies in this scenario. So there's surveillance footage of a salon where Pelosi goes and is getting her hair done, getting a blowout. Now, what's even more egregious is one, it's perfectly okay for her to get her hair done while everybody else cannot because it's too dangerous. You're going to kill people if you get your hair done at a salon. Not only that, she's now wearing a mask, which if you don't wear a mask, you're going to kill people. You got to wear the mask. You got to wear the mask. That's what you got to do. And the trifecta, the salon is supposed to be closed. The San Francisco Department of Public Health has declared that you cannot do that indoors. You can't have indoor hair salons working. Apparently, there's some rules for doing stuff outdoors, but you don't have permission to do that. So the trifecta is complete. This woman has the gall to go up to you and say, you have to wear a mask. You can't go to a salon. You can't go do what you need, what you have to do for your livelihood. But I can do it. Yeah, barber stuff and outdoors. There are rules that set in place. There's guidance that the San Francisco Department of Public Health has put out guidance for if you can. There are certain things you can do outdoors, but you have to like be on top of certain things. You got to immediately collect the clippings, things like that. You know, there's things that you can do outdoors when it comes to personal care services. But she was not outdoors. No, no, no. She was indoors. So this brings me to two conclusions. There's two possible conclusions to this. Actually, three. Possibility A is what Mom Patch just said in chat. She doesn't believe her own narrative. The Democrats don't believe their own narrative. Because it's just that. It's just narrative. It's all bullshit. Two, she's an elitist schmuck who thinks that the rules only apply to the plebs, but not herself. Or three, this whole thing is just absolute bullshit from the beginning. And to me, it may be a combination of all three, honestly. Because you also have footage of Cuomo walking around without a mask. You have Cuomo walking around without a mask. There's a picture of him, and apparently, Governor Cuomo. Yeah. No, to me, it's all three. There's varying percentiles, but it's definitely all three. Gonna drink some more coffee. Oh yeah, yeah. Kamala Harris says, she can have a gun, but you can't. Or have armed guards, and you can't protect yourself in any shape, way, or form. Oh, actually, I don't remember that. She wanted a private jet when she became Speaker of the House. Yeah, I'm sure. No, and then you have also like I believe there was a mayor. Let's see. I have this in my thread. Where is it? Where is it? I thought I had it in my thread. Maybe I'm wrong. Meh. I could be wrong. Yeah, I don't know what I did with that. Huh. Let's see here. Well, dang. I can't seem to find that tweet anymore. Maybe I saved it in my bookmarks. Maybe, maybe not. Oh no, it's right here. Here we go. Maryland. That's who I was looking for. He's a mayor of one of the cities in Maryland. Oh nope, I'm sorry. Not Maryland. What it happened in Maryland. But the mayor is the Philadelphia mayor, Jim Kenney. Was dining in a restaurant in Maryland, and apparently you can't do that in Maryland, I guess. So he's apologizing now because he got called out on it. I mean, the hypocrisy, and this guy's a Democrat. The hypocrisy on the left is just astounding. That's really what it comes to. And sure, like I said before, yeah, okay, we can play the game that it happens on both sides, sure. But I mean, this is pretty egregious stuff. I don't care. I don't care what side of the aisle you're on. I don't care if you're conservative or liberal. When you look at this stuff where you have people condemning other people for wanting to eat inside a restaurant, and then they eat at a restaurant, or condemning people and closing their businesses and removing their licenses, like what happened in that. There's a one barber in Michigan whose license was removed by a Democrat governor. But I haven't heard the governor of Michigan say anything about this, about Pelosi. Condemning her actions or criticizing her or anything like that. I haven't seen anything. Nothing at all. Yeah, she claims she didn't know anything, that she didn't do anything wrong. That was her statement. She confirms that it was true. That oh, I'm looking at the wrong window anyways here. Let's see. Do. I need to go to my dashboard in Bitwave. Yeah, she claims that she didn't know she was doing anything wrong. Which it's a crock. It is a heap of baloney. She's the one that keeps talking about following the rules and the mask rules and all that kind of stuff and the guidance and you have to do what the local, regional, and state governments tell you to do. And she wants to claim that she doesn't know that she did anything wrong. Well, you know what? If she doesn't know that she did anything wrong, then she is not cognitively capable of performing her duties. Because if her cognitive decline is that far gone, that you can't even follow the own rules you set for yourself, and you don't even realize what you're doing, if you're not conscious of what you're doing, then guess what? You have a serious mental problem. You have some serious cognitive decline there, and you should be kicked out and removed from office. At the very least. But in general, this bullshit has gone too far. This nonsense has gone absolutely too far. The state of that our country finds itself in right now because of crap like this, we're in a very bad place right now, culturally and societally. We're in a bad place. Economically, militarily, like from a high level country, if you want to look at the country from a high level point of view, we're actually really in a decent condition, regardless of, in spite of this whole COVID thing. Excuse me. Well, the only reason why I don't want to use the word cunt is because I know it that she's one. You know it that she's one. But YouTube and some other platforms are going to say, "Oh, that's sexist," because they're trying to equate that to other racial epithets which have nothing to do with that word. Oh yeah, yeah. The governor of Michigan said you can't go on vacation, but she goes. Yeah, that happened. That absolutely happened. Yeah. See, this is the thing. This is the problem. Um, the problem is that you have this elitist layer. In the past, under a more feudal system, you had the nobility and you had the plebs. Okay, you had the monarchy, the kind of that kind of monarchical structure and hierarchy in society, where you had all the nobility and the blue bloods and all the people that were rich, that had all the money, resources, and everything, and then you had the poor and the workers, and there was no middle ground. And this is what we have today. We have this class structure in the United States. Not just in the United States. This isn't unique to the United States. This is all over the place. Actually, it's not. This isn't anything particularly new, is what I'm saying. This has existed in one form or another throughout history. But what we have now is an especially egregious class structure. A caste system, if I'm not mistaken. That's what's the terminology for it. And the problem that you have today with that sort of caste system, I have a feeling I'm mispronouncing that, though. Caste system, yeah. Okay. See, I remembered the word, but I was mispronouncing it. Thank you, illustrator. Mom Patch is saying Rand Paul is pressing charges against the assailants. Says, look at the video footage everywhere. It's the same thugs. They are paid professionals. Who is behind this elitism? Yeah, they are. And you know what's funny? These people, like the guy that killed, what's his name? Jay Baker, the Trump supporter. He had been arrested in another place, and then he got arrested again, and for then he committed this murder. So these people are being bussed around and they're being traveled around. This is a highly organized thing. These aren't spontaneous riots. Okay, these aren't spontaneous manifestations that are coming up because people are upset. That's not the case. This is all highly organized. There's photos of buses that are being guarded by they have armed guards. Yeah, basically we do have a caste system in this country. And that whole BLM Antifa thing, they're an extension of it. Because up until for like what? 3-4 years now, the media has been encouraging this. You even have people like Jerry Nadler saying Antifa is a myth. Really? Tell that to the guy that died by the hands of someone who said, I'm 100% Antifa. Tell that to the ICE facility people that were shot on by that guy that then ended up getting shot and killed, who said he was Antifa as well. And what about all these people that put the masks on before COVID and were saying that they were Antifa? And that you have logos and cells that are training and organizing and are funded. Really, is that really a myth? Seems to me pretty real. So people like Jerry Nadler and the media and Chris Cuomo, which he also is trending in the news. We'll talk about him in a moment. Etsy pulled your free Kyle button listing and allows Antifa merch on its site. Really? Really? So Etsy, see, and Etsy now, I would say I would call the FBI or whatever. And I would file, something with them for Etsy to be investigated for supporting a terrorist organization. Wasn't Antifa declared a domestic terrorist organization? Last I checked, I think it was by the Trump administration. Wow. Well, I encourage everyone to call out Etsy then on its bull crap. Yeah, I heard about that, Mom Patch. What exactly is going on with that? Like, I heard that there was a law passed that apparently, like, protects pedophiles. What's going on with that? I mean, California is really messed up. I'm sorry. No, not really. I'm not that sorry. But the point is, California is really messed up. I can't fathom, no offense to people that live in California, like yourself, Mom Patch, but Oh, Etsy moved heaven and earth to get Confederate shit pulled from their site, but not Antifa stuff. Really? Wow. Yeah, well, I guess people from Etsy are supporters of domestic terrorism. Simple. I may try and contact if Etsy has a section for press. I may send them an email and ask them some questions, see if they're willing to answer. Because that's just, again, we're talking about this egregious hypocrisy. This egregious bullcrap that these not only people pull, politicians pull, and also now companies. And this is why it really irks me when companies go political. They really should not. They really, really, really should not. Companies need to just provide a service or a product, and that's it. Leave your politics freaking out of it. Simple. Pardon me. I'm koofing. Um, no more, no less. But going back to kind of what I was talking about here, the left has been encouraging this for years. This isn't anything recent. The only recent change in tone that's happened now, and it's not even a real condemnation. It's Biden, for example, said, "Oh, both sides are doing it. We gotta just kind of stop it." He didn't call out Antifa. He didn't call out the BLM people. He didn't call out all, the media encouraging all this bullcrap. He didn't call out the fact that the cities that are burning down are in Democrat cities, run by Democrat politicians. Hey, Sophia and Rana, how you doing on YouTube? I'm talking about the sheer hypocrisy of the left. The fact that Pelosi was caught breaking her own rules. I am talking to all the different platforms that I am on, Sufyan. I am on multiple platforms. I have a bunch of people here on Bitwave. I primarily interact with people on bitwave.tv. That's where most of my audience is, so I talk to them. I'm on bitwave.tv. I'm on DLive. I'm on Periscope as well. So hello, of course, to everybody at that. And I'm on Twitch as well. I multi-stream. So even though I don't have too many views on YouTube yet, I hope that changes. But with YouTube's algorithms, I don't think it's gonna happen. Thank you, Sofian. I'll try to have a nice stream. Thank you very much. Stick around. We're gonna talk about different topics. You may enjoy it. And if you don't stick around, at least give me a like, subscribe, share, and see if you can help me grow a little bit. I'd appreciate that. Well, it's not so much that the argument of there are good people on both sides argument, because in any situation, okay, illustrator, on any situation, come to Bitwave. They let you say the N word here, like a lot. Well, that definitely, the freedom of speech that Bitwave gives you is definitely very nice. Gonna drink some more coffee here. See, I mean, in any situation, sure, there's going to be bad people on both sides. There's going to be good people on both sides. That's a given to me. That's something that's what it is. I think, though, it's particularly egregious, though, when it is obvious what side is causing all this damage, and that it's organized, and that it's been encouraged by one side. It's painfully obvious. These are not conservative extremists that are setting places on fire. These are not conservative extremists that are killing people in the streets. that are actually hunting down these people. They're chasing them down to execute them. These people were not just killed in a scuffle or a confrontation. This was execution style murder. And that would have happened to Kyle Rittenhouse too if he didn't have his own AR-15. I believe that was an AR-15. I don't know if it was an AR-15, but if he didn't have his own rifle. Yeah, I know they're trying every time the Proud Boys are involved. They try and say that the Proud Boys are the instigators of everything. But the thing is, the Proud Boys, I don't know much about them. All I know was Gavin McInnes was involved with them at one point because he helped create them, and then he distanced himself because the Proud Boys became too like extreme for him on the right. So he distanced himself from that. And the Proud Boys are eager to respond. I mean, this group has no problem with responding to violence, with violence. So it's an easy target for the media to go and look at them and say, see, the rights are violent too. Which, okay, fine. You have one group who's willing to punch back when you punch them. Oh, Gavin is still involved? I hadn't heard much about his involvement anymore because he kind of disavowed some of the stuff that they did a long time ago, actually. This was years ago at this point, I think, a year or two ago. So I'm not sure exactly how much of his involvement is still like there. But if you say so, I mean, I have no reason to doubt what you're saying right now, Illustrator. But anyways, going back to the whole thing, it's like the media and politician, hey, Ex Rancho, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. That's the best thing people can do for me right now is follow, share, and subscribe, and just help me grow. That's really the best thing people can do right now on all the platforms, especially on the harder to grow platforms like DLive and YouTube and Periscope and Twitch. Definitely try and help me out there, guys. I really appreciate it. And while I'm shamelessly promoting myself here, while you're at it, hey, if you can be generous, streamlabs.com/theeternallabyss. Any level of generosity is greatly appreciated. Please support me. We got to spread the good word, and we're gonna have and call out hypocrisy, and I need your help to do that. So, if you can, thank you. But anyways, the Proud Boys are basically frat boys that love America. The guy running it is a Puerto Rican. Cool. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like the Proud Boys are a bunch of guys that they're not shy about physical retaliation. Okay? Yeah, remember, I don't radicalize, I rationalize. I posted that cuz I wanted to save it for posterity. That might be my new catchphrase, like Ben Shapiro says, facts don't care about your feelings. That might be my tagline. I don't radicalize, I rationalize. But as I was saying, these guys don't shy from a fight. Now, am I saying that that's right? Am I saying that it's okay for them to go around punching Antifa, things like that? I wish that there would be no violence. I don't want any group to be violent. I wish that people could resolve their differences in nonviolent ways. But if you have people like Antifa coming up and attacking people just because they're wearing a MAGA hat, okay? Or you have people coming up with you with guns when you're in your car, or they pull you out of your car and punch you in the face in Seattle. That happened not long ago during these protests. They block ambulances, risking people's lives. Then, again, I don't want violence. I I don't want clashes between conservatives and the left. But do I understand why that's happening? Absolutely. And if someone attacks me, am I not going to defend myself? Absolutely, I'm going to defend myself. Not only am I going to defend myself, I'm going to defend people around me too. If I see someone getting attacked, I have almost a duty to help protect them in one way or another, which may be either getting directly involved, which that doesn't always work out for the person, or trying to get law enforcement involved, or other forms. You know, I'm not talking about just retaliation through violence. I'm talking about trying to de-escalate things. But sometimes, but the problem is this: I can be well-intentioned, up the wazoo. I can be wanting peace up the wazoo. I can want to resolve all these issues just sitting at a table and discussing it over some coffee, for example. You know, I could be as a peace-loving person as much as possible. But when you're dealing with people whose idea of a solution is violence, when their whole tactic is violence, when their whole intention is violence, where their whole rationale and ideology is violence, how do you reason with that? How do you reason with that? How do you reason with someone who doesn't even want to look at the evidence in front of them about how ridiculous their ideology is? Who claims to be anti-fascist and engage in every single fascist behavior under the sun? I mean, either these people have a very low IQ, or they're being paid very well and they don't care. That's the only thing I can think of. Because anyone with a you know, a shred of cognitive capabilities would look at what Antifa stands for and acts and does and go that there is no connection between what they claim they're fighting and what they're doing. Because they are acting like the brown shirts. They are acting like little Führers, little dictators. Not wanting you to speak. Not wanting to have a discussion. You can't express an opinion. No, no, no. You can't believe in nationalism. You can't be proud of your country. That's what I mean by nationalism, by the way. Little Eichmanns, exactly. Yeah, exactly. You can't be proud of America. You can't praise its accomplishments. You can't even be white. Because by the very nature of being white, you're racist genetically. Oh, patriotism is illegal, yeah. Apparently. Apparently being a patriot is illegal. If you serve your country in any capacity, you're a terrorist according to them. If you're conservative, you're a Nazi and a racist. I mean, the stuff that they say has no connection with reality. And the way they act has no connection to what their ideology is allegedly to be, you know, in terms of being anti-fascist. But the biggest thing that to me yeah, Yeah, Illustrator says you may recall that an NPR reporter of all people was fired for describing one of the riot zones as reminiscent of Kristallnacht. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And now NPR has gone out and straight out lie. They just straight out lie in their reports. And you know what's funny about NPR? Apart from the fact that they get government funding, which they should be defunded, NPR should be defunded. Years ago, I called out NPR's bias. This was like towards the end of Obama's administration and during the campaigning. This was during the campaigning of 2016. Excuse me, goodness. This was during the election of 2016. I called out on social media before I didn't have Twitter at the time. This was on other social media. And people that I knew were shocked when I said that. They're like, NPR biased? What are you talking about? It's not biased. What are you talking about, NPR being biased? I'm like, do you seriously think that these people are not biased? Like, listen to their reports. Listen to how they're covering. Yeah, that was me. What makes NPR more special than Eternal Abyss? You should be getting government funding to report the news. Hell yes, I should be getting government funding. I want some Gibbs. Give me some Gibbs. I agree, DSP official. I should get money. Actually, I'm better than NPR. You know why? Because I don't have well, I mean, I do have an agenda, let's just be honest. But but I'm honest about it though. I am honest about my agenda. I'm honest about my beliefs. And when I report things, I do try to stay to the facts. And then if I express an opinion, I try to make it clear that it's my opinion. I don't just go out and say, "Oh, this is fake. This is not real," just because I don't agree with it or I want to try and put a spin on it, like this whole CDC thing, and then changing the numbers, the death toll of COVID, and NPR and I think it's NBC. There's a bunch of like news outlets right now. Even the AP is coming out. I am an advocate. Yeah, I do admit it. Uh, but even the AP is coming out saying, "Oh no," and PolitiFact, "Oh no, 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 it's fake. It's fake news that they quietly changed the numbers. Like there's no which is actually egregiously false." Oh no, you know what NPR was saying was it was the fact that Kyle Rittenhouse acted in self-defense. They called Kyle Rittenhouse a vigilante. That's what they did. And there's video. There is video that shows clearly that he was being chased down by three people. And one guy pulled a gun on him. And he was defending himself. Clearly. It seems like NPR is a little slow. Or they're blind. And they have fingers in their ears. Hey, MC, thank you for the coins. She says, yes, you really, thank you for the red alert. Yes, you really should get money. This is just Wavecoin. Doesn't count. Speaking of Wavecoin, Patch, where's my red alert allowance? I know. We should all get a Wavecoin allowance. Yeah, NPR would much rather defend a pedophile and a wife beater than someone who was trying to defend themselves because they had a gun pointed at their head. Okay? Let's put things in context here. Yeah, I know, right? Send the lemons. Oh yeah, I gotta put the Ethereum address into my descriptions. Like I said, I have that set up. I haven't added that to my streams just yet, but I do have Ethereum now. I have it set up that I can accept Ethereum. I mean, so I am accepting cryptocurrency as well. If people want to donate through that, which I would almost encourage, because I don't know how much I can rely on Streamlabs.com in terms of it's being connected to PayPal, and PayPal has blocked people from their own funds in the past. So who knows if PayPal gets wind of what I'm doing and what I'm saying, they might just go, "Oh, this is another alt-right extremist," and just ban me. But the thing is, this is like I don't have anything there really. I have very little stuff there, so I'm not too concerned. But the point is, if this thing catches on more and I get a bigger audience, and somehow people donate more, that's something I have to be cognizant about. I have to be aware of that. But I mentioned Chris Cuomo. I wanted to talk about Chris Cuomo because he is also trending in the news. Oh yeah, yeah. If they know that I'm criticizing Pelosi and using certain words to describe her, their hair's gonna catch on fire. Oh yeah, oh yeah. But let's talk about Chris Cuomo for a second, since we talked about the Cuomos and we talked about the hypocrisy, and we talked about different things. One thing that's interesting, Chris Cuomo is trending in the news right now. He's trending because Tucker Carlson said he had video, not video. I'm sorry, audio. Cuomo, the other C word. Yep. uh, he apparently is really, really, really chummy with Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen and Chris Cuomo are like best buds, it seems. There's plenty of calls and there's recordings of their calls because Cohen has a habit of recording everybody he talks to, apparently. And Tucker Carlson got his hands on these recordings. And there's one in particular that is very interesting because he talks about how he used to work for ABC. And there's a lot of people that keep calling. He's in the call. This is what he says, okay? I'm paraphrasing here. Because anything that I play, YouTube considers it a copyright thing. So I'm not even going to play that. I'm just going to paraphrase for you. You guys can look up the video and of Tucker Carlson talking about it. And you guys can check that out. So it appears that Chris Cuomo is pining and complaining over the fact that people are keep calling his previous employer of ABC, and they're talking about and asking about all these allegations of sexual misconduct. Okay, now I don't know if it's true or not. Okay, so that's not the point of this of the audio. That's not the scandal here, because there's nothing really particularly scandalous about the call. It's very insightful, though. That's the thing that's interesting about this call, because one, he's really, really chummy with Michael Cohen, and it's very interesting how they were reporting on Michael Cohen, yet Chris Cuomo is like really best buds with him, it seems. Very close. They talk as if they've known each other for a very long time. And Chris's tone is very different than how he portrays himself on TV. And he keeps complaining about the fact that people are calling, and he's like, his main beef is that they're accusing him of this stuff. And he's like, they complain like because I put a hand on someone's shoulder. And he goes, he complains that, that's a joke. It's ridiculous, things like that. And then at the end of the call, he goes, I've told this to you many times. The media is not your friend. Interesting. Someone that works in the media would make such a statement. Like I said, to me, it's nothing particularly, like, scandalous. There's no oh my gosh, he exposed himself. Even though there's accusations of him doing that actually. There's accusations of him being the Charlie Rose of ABC because that's his own words. He said people are saying that he's the Charlie Rose of ABC, inviting women to hotel rooms, opening his robe and exposing himself to people. And he claims that's not true. And I'm always guilty until innocent until proven guilty. Innocent until proven guilty. I don't know if it's true or not that he's done that sort of thing. Um, all I'm saying though, I find it very, very interesting that he himself would complain about this whole environment of you can't even talk to women almost in a workplace. You can't do hardly anything because everything can be construed as sexual harassment. And then he's saying that the media is not your friend. Those are the two things that I find particularly interesting because on the air he portrays himself as a friend of the feminist cause and all this kind of stuff, and Me Too is a terrible thing, and and going after people like, oh, this person is accused of sexual harassment and blah blah and all this kind of stuff. Pardon me. And then he comes from that angle. It's a very particularly interesting angle to come at. Is all I'm saying. I find that very interesting. I'd like to see if there's more of these calls and recordings to see if what other information comes out, because I think that would be must be worth looking into. And he does talk pretty downward about women in that call too. I mean, it's not a very pleasant call to listen to. And he pretty much, Chris Cuomo admits that he's being accused of sexual harassment. And Donald Trump, of course, he has to come out with a tweet and troll, and of course, and he says, "Will Fredo be fired from fake news CNN? He speaks with great disrespect about women, and it'll only get worse. Fredo's ratings are bad, so this is the time. Always terrible to speak to sleazebags, especially when you are being recorded. CNN has no choice. Fredo must go." I mean, I get his point. I don't know if I would have used that whole kind of messaging myself, but I definitely understand his point. Is that again, it kind of points out at the hypocrisy again. That theme is coming up again of CNN and the left. So actually, I have this is kind of the actual transcript. I can actually read it to you here. So the audio call was aired on Fox News. Tucker Carlson and Cuomo admitted he had received questions about his behavior with women at his former job at ABC News. Quote, "Do you know how many," he says, fucking. So I'm just going to use the words. "Do you know how many fucking phone calls I've gotten from people at ABC who say that reporters are calling and lying about things they heard about me to try to get stories about me when I was at ABC?" He asked Cohen, referring to accusations from women that he said were false. That was one thing he was saying. Let's see. That's only part of the transcript. I actually listened to the whole thing. I should have it up, actually. Let's see. Yep, here we go. "Guys calling me and saying, I heard he was the Charlie Rose of ABC. He used to invite women to a hotel and open his bathrobe. Do I look like the kind of fucking guy who's got to do that? Who's got to do that?" That's the interesting language, too. We'll talk about that in just a moment, Cuomo asked. And you know what Cohen says? This is the best part. Cohen goes, "Sure, why not?" I just love the fact that Cohen goes, "Yeah, I can see it. I can see that. I can see that you could be a guy who just opens his robe to people." Oh God, Joe Biden's in chat. Oh no. Abyss has the documents. That's right, Trainwave. I got it all. An abysmal exclusive. No, but I mean, so basically, what he says is, do you think I'm the kind of guy that's got to do that sort of thing to get women? I mean, what an egomaniac. Your robe is always open, Joe Biden. Somehow that doesn't surprise me. But I mean, what an egomaniac to think that you're such a God gift to women. That I don't have to resort to exposing myself to get the chicks. Isn't he married? He's married with children. Yeah, I saw that Sarah Sanders was trending. I'm trying to figure out. I don't know what was going on with that. Oh, uh, a tell-all. Wait, what is this? Ex-press secretary describes boorish remarks in new memoir. That's from Sarah Sanders herself? From Sanders' own okay, so it's her own memoir. So apparently Kim Jong Un winked at Sarah Sanders. Trump was saying Kim Jong Un hit on you. He did. He fucking hit on you. Well, my question is this. I mean, here they're describing it. I mean, it's the Guardian. Guardian is a biased. It's incredibly biased. So I'm not surprised that they would describe it as boorish. And saying that Sarah Sanders might have to go to North Korea and take one for the team. Oh God. Oh boy. Yeah, that's kind of a dumb remark. That's a dumb remark. But I mean, see, this is the thing. I would much rather read the memoir myself and see what the context of that is before I jump to any conclusions. Is it a dumb statement? Yeah. Is it a dumb joke? Yeah. Does it sound like a typical New Yorker? Yeah. um. So I don't know. I mean, she seems to be a strong supporter of Trump. She always has been, and even post working for the White House, it seems like she doesn't have a problem with Trump or the administration. So I don't know how she feels about those comments, and if she doesn't feel offended by them, if she took it as a joke and she's okay with it, then I mean, I know there's gonna be people that are gonna latch onto that and say that it's inappropriate. Like I said, to me, I feel like it's a stupid joke. Um, if that's the kind of rapport that he had with Sarah Sanders, though, and she was okay with it, I don't think there's anything wrong with Sarah Sanders Huckabee, no, or Huckabee Sanders. I don't think there's anything wrong with her. I don't think there's anything. Like I said, that statement, I can see how some people can be upset with that. What's XTC? I think you're in the wrong chat. um, an 80s band. No, but all I'm saying is, I could see how some people may find that kind of joke or remark inappropriate. Think I'm on the fence when it comes to those kind of things. You're missing the part where Lil Kim wants to smash. Is he even alive anymore? I think he's died like 3 or 4 times already. I've heard reports of him dying 3 or 4 times, so I have no idea what's going on with him. I don't know. But my point of view is, I don't automatically go from one side to the other when it comes to those kind of statements. I don't automatically say that all the time those statements are terrible or all the time those statements are innocent. So there are times when statements like that are inappropriate. There are times when statements like that are just obviously a joke. And if everybody involved is not offended, see, this is one thing that I can tell you. In any sort of corporate environment, when you go through like sexual harassment training and diversity training and things like that, they always tell you one thing. This is the main thing. They tell you that it doesn't matter what you say. Yeah, it was a joke. It was obviously a joke. Now, some can argue that it's an inappropriate joke, and some can argue that it's just a joke. So, but that's kind of what I'm getting at with this diversity training and sexual harassment story is like whenever you go into corporate and they train you on this stuff, the thing that they hammer into you is it's not what you say. It's not what you say that's offensive or not. It's how people perceive it. So if you say something to me and I perceive it as offensive, then guess what? Now you're in trouble. Okay? That's what it boils down to. So if we're gonna follow that rule, that is the rule in the corporate world and in places workplaces and when you're working in a professional environment, which that's what you're doing when you're working at the government. When you're working for the government, that's what it is. It's a professional environment, so to speak. It follows the same kind of rules. So, like I said, I'd be curious to read the memoirs. I'd be curious to see what her perspective of this was, and I would like to see whether she thought it was inappropriate or not. Because if Sarah Sanders herself says, "You know what? This is a joke that he made. Ha ha. I thought it was funny. I didn't think it was a big deal. I didn't think he was really gonna send me to North Korea to really take one for the team." Then I would have to say, if she's okay with it, I'm okay with it. If she finds it inappropriate, then I could say, well, if Trudeau winked at Kushner, Trump would say the same thing. The thing is this, okay, what it boils down to is this. The left is going to latch on to this no matter what. It doesn't even matter at the end of the day. Trump has said far more innocent things than they've latched on to him because they accuse him of saying stuff that he didn't even say. Like the whole good people hoax. He didn't even say what they claim that he said. I'm sorry. They claim he said something that he didn't even say because they cut out one part on purpose to leave the context out of it. They do it on purpose to put Trump in a bad light. So that's why I'm not going to crucify Trump for that one joke or statement. In my personal opinion, is it dumb? Yeah, it's a dumb joke. But is it a joke? What did he meant it in a joking fashion? Did he mean it in an inappropriate fashion? It was a joke. And I think that we need to be able to learn to distinguish jokes and humor. Well, even that statement, the grab them by the pussy statement, I mean, that whole thing too, taken way out of context. And they keep latching on to the fact that just because he said something like that, that they apparently they say that he goes around actually doing that. He doesn't. It was an exaggerated statement that he did, and he said they let you do it too. So that implies that there's consent. So it's going to be something that they latch onto, of course, because they're pretty desperate right now. They're slipping in all the polls. The Democrats are slipping in all the polls, and they're pretty desperate right now to latch onto anything to make them look bad. Honestly, I think what I would have done if I was Sarah Sanders was I wouldn't have published this thing now. I would have waited until after the election. Because no matter what you put in there, even if you did an entirely flattering memoir of Trump, they're going to latch on to anything that they can use to try and attack Trump. They're going to do that. So I don't think it's very smart. You know, I I as things stand right now with the polls, and as things stand right now with people's sentiment with the country, with our government, with everything. Yeah, he might lose. There's always that possibility. I'm not saying it's a sure thing, which is why I always say don't be complacent. Um but at the same time, the way things are going, I think it's unlikely that he will lose. I think the chances of him winning are pretty good because all the polls in the past have been very skewed towards the left. They have not really been fair polls in terms of sampling. There have been a lot of issues with that. I mean, just look what happened in the last election, and the same sort of thing was happening now. And now, even with all that, the polls are evening out, and in some cases, he's actually in some battleground states, he's actually surpassing Biden. So I think that it's gonna be a hard fought battle to win. It's not gonna be a cakewalk. I'm pretty certain about that. But I do think that he has good chances of winning. And speaking of political change and things and political races and things like that, something historic also happened. So I don't know if many people knew about the Ginger Kennedy here, Joe Kennedy III. He got primaried out. Okay. This is rather significant. Senator Ed Markey has defeated his primary challenger, Joe Kennedy III, in Tuesday's Democratic primary. It's the first time a Kennedy has ever lost an election in Massachusetts. I mean, the Kennedys owned Massachusetts. They absolutely owned Massachusetts. The fact that a Kennedy was primaried is a big deal. Okay. So you have that happening. This is a major deal actually. The fact that a Kennedy Nah, Andrew Yang does not have enough support at all. Yeah, Camelot Falls. I think the era of Kennedys is finally over, and it's long overdue. It is long overdue. The Kennedys have done a lot of damage to the political sphere of our country. I feel they've done a lot of damage to our country. There have been a couple good things that's come out of it, not really because of the Kennedys, but mostly because of people that they were surrounded by. Like the Americans with Disabilities Act was a good step forward, actually. That was a positive thing. And that wasn't because of Ted Kennedy, even though Ted Kennedy put that bill out there and campaigned on it. It's because his wife told him to do that. Well, the Bernie vote's going to get split. That's the thing. The Bernie vote's going to get split. You're going to have people that are pissed off that Bernie got screwed yet again, and they're going to either not vote. There have been people online that are Bernie voters saying they're going to vote for Trump. They basically converted over. There's a small percentage of that, and there's also a percentage of people that are just they're gonna vote for maybe third party or independent or something like that. And then you're gonna have some people that vote for Biden. It's split. It's very much split because no matter how much of Bernie's platform Biden accepts, he's not Bernie, and he's not gonna go as extreme as Bernie is. So they're not getting the candidate they wanted. They may get some of the policies, but they're not getting the candidate they wanted. So that's going to get split up. The Yang people, they were such a small group. They were a tiny group. I don't think they're really that significant. Buttigieg, for a while, yeah, he actually did get some good support. But the thing is, he just chickened out along with Klobuchar and other people. They all bailed out at the same time just to give the nomination to Biden, which amazes me that the DNC is such a rigged affair. I mean, it was just rigged for Biden basically. They rigged it to give him the nomination just like they rigged it to give Hillary the nomination. It's pretty disgusting. If you're a Democrat, you should be highly insulted by that. You should be highly insulted that you don't matter. If you're a Democrat, according to the DNC, to the Democrat Party, you are worthless. Because it doesn't matter who you supported. It doesn't matter what policies you want to support and what candidate you want to support. It doesn't matter who you give money to. Because the Democrat Party pretty much is going to say, well, you know what? We're going to pat you on the head, give you some hard candy, say, okay, go on your way. We'll decide. We'll let the adults decide, and the big boys and the big girls decide who's going to be the candidate. Well, maybe Illustrator. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know if I agree that. I mean, I think Andrew Yang showed really how much he really was lost in terms of politics. All he could do was promise money. That's it. When asked some really hard questions about policies and foreign policy, the guy was completely lost. He was really out of his element. Buttigieg was really much a talking point guy. If you asked him questions about different things, sure, he was eloquent. He was he was a well-spoken person, but he was too fake to me. He was way too rehearsed, way too polished. Everything that he did, it was kind of like when you were listening to Marco Rubio on the debate when back in 2016. Marco Rubio was just repeating the same line over and over and over again because he ended up breaking himself and going into a loop. Aw, MZ, you matter to us. Don't say that. Uh, So to me, I didn't think Pete was providing much in terms of like substance. Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what Bucket was saying. He just kept going. He just kept falling back on talking points, and that that he was gay, that he kept saying that he did a great job as mayor, which actually was questionable because his city wasn't really not doing that great. But he kept trying to tout the sort of record that he had, which wasn't even that great a record. That's the thing, which I found very surprising. It's like, well, if you're gonna tout a record, you might want to tout a good record, but his record wasn't even that fantastic. But anyways, these people are irrelevant at this point. Well, I mean, they're not completely irrelevant because if Biden becomes president, all you're gonna have as an administration is Obama 2.0, and all these people, he's gonna give them positions. He's gonna get them involved in the administration in one form or another, because that's what they do. Does a record of smoking pole not in politics. To most average people in politics, not so much. Um, some people may consider that a count worth counting. I I don't. That's not something I particularly keep track of when it comes to my politicians. No matter who you are. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if Biden, let's say Biden wins. It wouldn't surprise me that they're gonna just say that he's incompetent, and Kamala Harris will be wearing the crown. Would not surprise me in the least. And then you're gonna have to see who she then chooses as a vice president. If he's declared incompetent, then she's gonna have to choose a vice president or some second in command in case something happens to her, which is how it's supposed to work. So she may choose another incredibly radical person. Like she is. She's very radical. She is extremely radical. She's made statements about going after Trump supporters if she wins. She's made statements about confiscating guns, going completely against the Second Amendment. Well, the speaker is the speaker. I guess if she wanted to promote the speaker and say, "Hey, you'll be my vice president," then a new speaker of the House would be chosen. Abyss is a brainlet. Yeah. It also depends if she is elected if it happens. Absolutely, yeah. No, you're right. You're right, Brainwave. Guns are racist, right? Maxine Waters. Apparently. Um, no, but basically what it boils down to is that the left's administration to be, if God forbid Biden and Harris win, you're not getting any change. You're not getting anything in terms of progressiveness. You're not getting anything in terms of pragmaticism. All you're going to, in the sense that you're not gonna get anything new that will be beneficial to this country. We tried their policies for 8 years. It was trash. It was an anemic economy, terrible recovery. Manufacturing disappeared. Jobs were sent overseas. Our immigration policy was ridiculous. There was scandal after scandal in the Obama administration, with political persecution, spying on candidates, using the IRS to persecute conservatives, killing people with gun running operations. You had an AG for the first time that was held in contempt of Congress, and nobody wants to talk about that. You have all the riots that started, BLM started under Obama, but cities were burning under Obama, yet somehow nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to address that. Nobody wants to address the division and stoking of racial tensions on the left. From then until now, nobody wants to talk about this sort of stuff. Especially in the media, they don't want to talk about this stuff. Oh, it started way before Trump announced. It started it started between the whole thing that happened with oh gosh, the names are escaping me right now. I'm having a Joe Biden moment. So, Zimmerman, thank you. Trayvon Martin. That's the it was on the tip of my tongue because I knew it started with a T. Yeah, Trayvon Martin and Zimmerman started with that. Even though, even though, oh, shut up, shut up, Joe Biden. um, no, it kind of started with that. There weren't. I didn't see any. This is the thing. They claim that that's where it starts from. And it probably did. I'm not even really disputing that. It's just that you didn't have any of the violent manifestations at that point. You had that movement starting then. And then with the hands up don't shoot lie, that's when they started getting violent. They started rioting and looting, setting stuff on fire and destroying their own communities. Okay? That's really when things took a bigger head here. So, and then what did you have from the administration back then? They did nothing. They did nothing to calm this. They did nothing to stop this. They didn't even offer a National Guard or anything like that. And then you also had back then what's happening now, where local officials were giving stand down orders, causing even more damage, even more rioting, even more looting, because they weren't controlling it in any shape, way, or form. So it's context that's never addressed. It's history that's never addressed because the media doesn't want to address it because they'd have to admit the truth that this whole thing started with a lie. This whole thing started under the Obama administration. This whole thing was never calmed. It was stoked even back then. But the media, the one thing that I will say is that the media back then was kind of going along with it. They weren't inciting to the point that they are now under Trump's administration during the Trump years here. But they very much were kind of trying to keep it on the down low, so to speak. But they weren't not encouraging it. So the media had this weird double line that they were walking back then because they didn't want to make the Obama administration look bad. So they just went along with a lot of the stuff that they say now as well, with this whole systemic racism and all this, bullshit that doesn't exist. So it's something that I think people need to keep in context. I think it's something that people do need to remember when this whole thing started. Yeah, the media didn't go absolutely nuts until 2016, even though the media, I'm old enough to remember, I am the eternal boomer sometimes. I am old enough to remember that in the George W. Bush years, they were pretty much doing what they're doing now with Trump. Only that with Trump, it's been ramped up 1,000 times. Like, it's been really ramped up. Really, really ramped up in comparison. Instead, here with the well, not here, but back then with George W. Bush, they were doing the same thing, but it was at a much smaller degree because, well, it wasn't Trump. Simple. But anyways, I think I've pretty much talked about everything that I wanted to talk about. Let me take a quick look to see if there was something else that I wanted to mention because I opened up a couple things here. Apparently, Joe and Joe Biden are heading to Kenosha. So there's that. Whatever. I don't see what's the point because it's just they're looking at the handiwork of their side. Is that what they're gonna do? I mean, this is one thing actually I do want to say before I end the stream. Um, the new narrative here right now, everybody's saying that this is all Trump's responsibility, all the riots, all the looting, everything, the violence, the deaths. Okay, I wanna ask a question or two to the people who believe that. For 90 days now, over 90 days, so 3 months or so, for the past 3 months or so, what ideological side has been responsible for the violence and rioting and looting and destruction of property, arson, murder? For the most part, what side has been particularly violent during this period? What side of the political spectrum, in terms of politicians, have been encouraging this, inciting this? No, the media, trust me, was not pro Bush. Let's take a pause from what I'm saying. What politicians have incited violence, actually called on violence? What side has refused the federal government from stepping in? Because the federal government has to follow rules too. They can't just send the military into cities and invade cities. They can't do that. What side has refused to act? What side has allowed people to reign anarchy in autonomous zones? What media outlets have made claims? What media outlets have made claims of, where does it say that protests have to be peaceful? Or talking about that Antifa doesn't really exist, it's just a myth. Oh, no, Illustrator, they are not as hard on Trump as they were on Bush. Absolutely. I mean, reverse that. They weren't as hard on Bush as they are on Trump. Absolutely. No. That's why I'm saying they were doing, like, if you see what they did back then, it's kind of like a beach ball size of crap. You look at what they're doing now, it's like the size of the sun. So, and I know these are rhetorical questions, what I was asking, because it's pretty obvious what side was doing, what side is doing all this. So you can claim because Trump is president that the buck stops at him. Sure, okay, fine, that could be a claim. But if cities are preventing him from acting, politicians are inciting more and more violence, they're not doing anything to try and calm people down, you cannot claim that these are riots caused by Trump, especially if these are organized and paid for and people are bussed in and the same people get arrested over and over. This is coordinated. This is encouraged by the left. This is encouraged by the media. It's encouraged by left politicians. And it's got to stop. Simple. I'm sorry to hear that, MZ. That you don't talk to your family anymore. That's a shame. But I guess Donald Trump is in our chat now. Hey, okay. But anyway, they want Trump to send the army so they can start screaming Kent State. Yeah, they do. They probably do because they keep saying that Trump is a despot. They keep saying that Trump is a dictator, that he's a tyrannical person. So, with that, I want to just conclude by saying, no matter what side of the ideology spectrum you are, you have to admit what side is really the one causing all these problems right now. You have to admit what side is the one encouraging this violence. And you have to admit also what side finally is starting to condemn this violence only because their polling said so. That matters. That matters a great deal. That the fact that Biden has made a wussy statement on condemning the violence, which wasn't really a condemnation. It was a cop out at the end of the day. Okay. It was an absolute cop out. And you have to admit, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, who is responsible. Yeah, well, we appreciate you, MZ. We really do. I do. Yeah. Basically, yeah, illustrators say, okay, you stolen enough flat screen TVs. Time to stop. No, but basically, this is the thing, I know people want to defend their side. I get it. It comes with this whole tribalism. It comes with this whole team spirit sort of thing. My team versus your team. I get it. You want to defend one side, you want to defend them. I totally understand. Totally understand that. But at the same time, you have to also look at the reality in front of you. You have to look at the reality in front of you of what these people have said, what these people have done, what they have encouraged. You have to look at that. That's why I say, this isn't even a thing about me defending the right versus and attacking the left or anything like that. This is just the reality of what's going on. You can't just deny the reality because it happens to be your side. Like I am more than happy to admit, for example, that joke that Trump did was a stupid joke. I'm more than happy to admit that. But I'm more concerned about people getting shot in the street just because they happen to be Trump supporters. I'm more concerned about, like, if we had a president in the office that used an internet as a cigar humidor. And the left defended that back then. Context. Context matters. Okay. So I'm going to finish up my coffee here. Mm. There we go. Coffee gone. Oh yeah. And I'm gonna look into other multi-streaming platforms, like Wirecast, and I'm gonna play around with that and see what I can do in terms of getting this to work, because I'm not sure if Restream is really the platform of choice for me to multi-stream to different things. I hope there's some other stuff out there like Wirecast that I can experiment with that will work well with my computer, because Lord knows, that just did not work at all. But anyways, we're gonna call it a day, kids. Today is Wednesday, right? Remember, tomorrow no morning stream. There's not gonna be a morning stream on Thursday. There never is. Now, I decided we're not gonna do morning streams on Thursdays. We're gonna do it at night. We're gonna do our evening stream at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I want to see you there. We'll see if we can get ahead in Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, because I'm absolutely stuck in that game right now. I got to figure out what I'm going to do for that. And as always, kids, I hope to see you there. Please support and share and help me grow. And as always, as I mentioned earlier, I'm going to leave you with my... Oh, hey, thanks for the ice cream. Oh. Thank you, Illustrator. I like that song. I agree. I agree that they missed out on MZ. You're an awesome person. But as I was saying, we're going to conclude the stream. You can keep giving lemons even if I'm not streaming. Don't worry about it. I'll gladly accept it. Even though I do enjoy listening to the music. But remember, kids, don't be complacent. And get out there, vote, do what you got to do. Thanks for the coins, MZ. All right. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Take it easy.